I, a 27-year-old male, need to write this down somewhere because I can't talk to anyone in real life about it right now. My hands are literally shaking while typing this, but whatever. I've been with this girl, I'll call her Amy, a 24-year-old female, for 2 years. I met her at this fancy coffee place near my office building. I work at this finance company, not saying which one because she might see this post. She was working there as a barista while finishing her master's degree in marketing or something. The first time I saw her, I thought she was way out of my league, to be honest. She had this perfect smile and would always remember everyone's orders. Mine was a large caramel latte with an extra shot, yeah, basic, I know, LOL, and she'd have it ready before I even got to the counter most days. We'd talk about random stuff while she made drinks, my boring work stories, her classes, just normal things. My family's pretty well off. My parents run this big investment firm downtown. They've been pushing me to join the family legacy since I was like 12. I did the whole private school thing, got my finance degree from a good university, but then I went and got a job at one of their competitor firms just to prove I could make it on my own. Dad was pissed about that one, LOL. Amy was totally different from the girls I usually met through work or my parents' fancy business parties. Those girls were always trying to impress my family or get something from me, but Amy actually listened when I talked, remembered little details about stuff I mentioned weeks ago, and seemed to really care about what I thought. She didn't try to hide that she came from a normal family. Her dad's a high school teacher, and her mom works at a dentist's office. She was putting herself through grad school by working at the coffee shop and doing some online marketing gigs on the side. I really respected her work ethic, you know. We had this thing where I'd come in right before the morning rush, around 8:15, and she'd always find a way to chat for a few minutes, even when it was getting busy. She'd tell me about her crazy customers, or this professor who was giving her a hard time, and I'd complain about my boss being obsessed with comics and presentation slides. Looking back now, I should have noticed something was off about how interested she was in my friend group, especially my best friend, Jake, a 26-year-old male. She'd always ask if he was coming to whatever plans we made, or mention how cool it was that he was working on opening his own gym. At the time, I thought she was just being friendly and supportive of my best friend, but man, was I stupid. Jake and I go way back to high school. We played football together. He was actually good, I just warmed the bench. We ended up at the same college. He was my roommate all 4 years, and we've been basically brothers since. He's the kind of guy who makes friends with everyone. Super outgoing, always organizing stuff, real charming when he wants to be. When I first told Jake about Amy, he was weirdly excited about it, kept saying I needed to ask her out, how she seemed perfect for me, offering to help plan dates and stuff. I thought he was just being a good friend, trying to help his socially awkward buddy get a girlfriend. I finally asked Amy out after like 3 months of being a regular at her coffee shop. I was super nervous about it, had this whole speech planned out, but ended up just blurting, "Want to get dinner sometime?" like an idiot while she handed me my coffee. She said yes before I could even finish stumbling through the question. Jake helped me plan this nice dinner at a restaurant his gym client owned. Amy seemed so genuinely happy that night. That's what makes all this so messed up, you know? She played the part of the perfect girlfriend so well, always sending good morning texts, bringing me lunch at work when I had tough days, remembering important dates, and stuff. Never even looked at other guys when we went out. Well, except Jake, apparently. But I'll get to that part later. So, after Amy and I started dating, things moved pretty fast. We clicked right away. She was super into learning about my work, or pretending to be, I guess. She'd ask me to explain different financial terms and seemed really impressed when I'd break down complex market stuff. Now I realize she was probably just gathering info to seem more sophisticated for her plan. Jake was weirdly present from the start. Looking back, he'd show up at the coffee shop a lot when Amy was working, said he was meeting clients there, but he'd always hang around her counter, talking about his gym plans. I actually thought it was cool that my girlfriend and best friend got along so well. Yeah, I know, I'm an idiot. The first red flag I totally missed was this party at my place, like 3 months in. I was in the kitchen getting snacks when I came back and saw Jake showing Amy his workout videos on his phone. They were sitting really close, and she was like super focused on his screen. As soon as they saw me, they jumped apart, and Amy started asking me about my day, super loud. Stupid me thought she was just being polite, watching his gym progress videos. Jake started inviting us to everything, movie nights, gym events, beach trips, always had some reason why we had to be there. Amy would get so excited about these hangouts, always asking what Jake thought about her outfit, or if he'd be impressed by whatever dish she brought. I figured she was just trying to impress my friends. Around 6 months in, Amy started working out at Jake's gym, said she wanted to support his business, and got this special rate because she was my girlfriend. She'd go at weird times, like super early before work or late at night, said those were the only times that worked with her schedule. Meanwhile, Jake's messaging her about form checks and nutrition plans and whatever. One time my coworker saw them having lunch together at this cafe near my office. When I asked Amy about it, she said she ran into Jake by accident and they just grabbed a quick bite. Jake backed up her story, saying he was meeting a client there and bumped into her. They had this whole explanation ready. The really messed up part, while all this was happening, Amy was like the perfect girlfriend to me. She'd leave little notes in my work bag, cook my favorite meals, always remembered important dates. She even got my mom's secret recipe for this Christmas cookie thing and made them exactly right. My parents loved her. Mom was already talking about wedding venues. Sorry, Mom. She wasn't attached in our relationship or anything. Instead, she was always right there when I needed her, which made it hard to question her about the weird vibe between her and Jake, especially since Jake has a girlfriend. I introduced her to all my work friends, and she charmed everyone, super professional at office parties, knew how to talk to the senior partners, even helped me put together presentations sometimes. My boss started giving me better projects because he said I seemed more focused and put together since meeting her. Jake was always telling me how lucky I was. Bro, you really upgraded from your ex, and Amy's going to help your career so much, stuff like that. He'd mention how she was wife material, and I should lock that down. Meanwhile, they were probably laughing about me behind my back. I even started looking at rings around month 8. Jake went with me to the jewelry store because he's supposedly an expert on what girls like from his gym clients. He said there was this one weird moment at my birthday party. Amy got super dressed up, like way more than needed for a casual house party. She kept trying to get Jake to notice her outfit, kept accidentally bumping into him in the kitchen. My friend Chris noticed and asked me if I thought something was up. I defended them so hard, said they were like siblings, and Chris was seeing things that weren't there. I started noticing Amy would get ready for the gym like she was going to a photo shoot, full makeup, matching workout sets, always fixing her hair. She said she wanted to look professional since she was dating one of Jake's friends. She even bought new workout clothes because Jake mentioned his gym had a certain image to maintain. We had this double date thing with Jake and his girlfriend Lisa a few times. Amy would get weird after, quiet and moody, said she was just tired from work or studying. Lisa noticed Amy staring at Jake a lot, but I made excuses, said Amy was probably just zoning out because she was stressed about grad school. But around 6 months ago, Amy started acting super weird. It was like someone flipped a switch or something. First, it was small things. She'd take forever to text back. Started canceling our lunch dates, saying she had to study or work extra shifts. But then I'd see her posting gym selfies on Instagram during those exact times. She got really protective of her phone, too. Like she'd literally jump if I walked behind her while she was texting. Always had it face down on the table, and would take it with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. One time, it fell out of her pocket, and I picked it up. She literally snatched it from my hands before I could even hand it to her, said she had private work email she didn't want anyone to see accidentally. She stopped trying to make plans with me. Instead, the gym thing got really intense. She used to go maybe 3 times a week. But suddenly she was there every single day, sometimes twice. Always had to be when Jake was working. Said he was the only trainer who understood her fitness goals or whatever. She'd come home super late with wet hair, saying she showered at the gym because she had to rush to study group after. Jake started acting different too. He used to text me all the time about random stuff, but he got really distant, stopped coming to our weekly basketball games, always had some excuse about training clients, but then I'd see him posting stories from bars and parties I wasn't invited to. Amy was always in the background of these posts, but they never posted any pictures together directly. One really weird thing happened at this work party I had. Amy was supposed to come. She always came to my work stuff because she knew it was important for my career. But like 30 minutes before, she texts, saying she's got this crazy migraine and needs to stay home. I was pretty upset because my boss was expecting to meet her again, but whatever, people get sick, right? So, I'm at this boring party alone, and my coworker showed me this gym story his girlfriend posted. In the background, you can clearly see Amy and Jake working out together. When I asked her about it later, she had this whole story ready about how exercise helps her migraines and Jake was doing her a favor by training her last minute. She even got mad at me for not supporting her health. She started dressing differently too. Like before, she was always pretty casual. Jeans and sweaters, normal stuff. But suddenly she's buying all these tight dresses and fancy workout clothes, said she needed to look more professional for her future marketing career, but she only wore this stuff when she knew Jake would be around. The really messed up part, she started talking about Jake all the time, like she'd randomly bring him up in conversations that had nothing to do with him. We'd be talking about what movie to watch and she'd be like, "Oh, Jake said this new Netflix show is really good." Or Jake thinks Marvel movies are getting repetitive. Since when did she care so much about Jake's opinions on movies? I thought that I might be the problem and decided to surprise her at the coffee shop where she worked. She usually worked until 4, so I showed up at 3:30 with flowers because she'd been so stressed lately. But her coworker said she'd left at 2, saying she wasn't feeling well. I called her, worried, but it went straight to voicemail. Later she posts this gym selfie with Jake barely visible in the mirror behind her. When I asked about it, she deleted the post and said her coworker must have been confused about her schedule. The studying excuse got really old. She'd say she was at the library until late, but her location on Snapchat showed her at Jake's gym. When I mentioned this, she got super defensive, saying I was tracking her and being controlling, made me feel like I was crazy for even asking about it. Even my mom noticed something was off. Amy used to text her all the time, asking for recipes and stuff, but she stopped responding to mom's messages, always saying she was too busy with grad school, but somehow she had time to comment on every single one of Jake's Instagram posts within like 2 minutes. I started feeling really insecure, which isn't like me at all. I started going to the gym more myself, trying to get in better shape. Amy barely noticed. She'd just say, "Oh, that's nice," without even looking up from her phone. But let Jake post a shirtless gym pic, and she'd literally stop mid-sentence to like and comment on it. At that point, I decided to do something about it because all the signs were suffocating me. I wasn't even supposed to be home that afternoon. I had a work thing scheduled, but it got canceled last minute. Figuring I might as well grab a coffee before heading back, I walked toward my car. Then I heard Amy's voice. It was coming from a cafe near my office. She was sitting with a group of women I didn't recognize, probably her coworkers. It wasn't weird for her to be there, but something about the way she was talking, low, almost secretive, made me stop in my tracks. Normally, I'm not the type to eavesdrop, but something made me stop. Amy was talking super loud, laughing about how pathetic it was that everyone in my office was obsessed with her, said my female coworkers were jealous, and the guys couldn't stop staring whenever she visited. She just kept going, laughing like it was all some big joke, talking about their crazy chemistry, how Jake was way more exciting but kind of dumb, unlike me, how I was safe and looked good on paper, but Jake was her real passion. Her friends, they were eating it up, giggling, asking for details about their gym sessions like it was some reality show drama. I walked into that cafe, shaking. The second Amy saw me, her face barely faltered, just a flicker of shock before she slapped on a fake smile. "Babe, what are you doing here?" she said, way too loud, like this was totally normal. Her friends froze, wide-eyed, but Amy, she doubled down, laughing like I'd walked in on the funniest conversation ever. "We were just joking around. You know how girls are. We say the craziest things." I just stared at her. "Joking? So you're not actually calling me a boring placeholder while you mess around with Jake?" Her friends started awkwardly gathering their stuff, suddenly very interested in their phones. Amy kept up the act. "Oh my God, you're so sensitive," she said, still forcing that laugh. "Seriously, it was just stupid girl talk, no big deal." I didn't argue there. I wasn't about to let her put on a show, so I just said, "Right, no big deal," and I walked out. The ride home was silent. She barely looked at me, staring out the window like I was the one who had something to explain. The second we got inside, she flipped. "I can't believe you made a scene like that," she snapped. "You embarrassed me." I let out a short laugh, shaking my head. "Embarrassed you? You're the one talking about your real passion while I'm just some safe, boring placeholder. But if it's so innocent, prove it." Her eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" I pulled out her phone from the counter where she'd left it. "Open your texts with Jake. Read them out loud." Her whole face changed. "Are you serious?" she scoffed, crossing her arms. "You want me to perform for you now? This is so controlling. You said there's nothing to hide, so read them." I held her phone out. "Or should I?" She snatched the phone out of my hand and held it against her chest like I was some kind of threat. "This is insane. You're acting crazy over a joke." But we both knew it wasn't a joke, and she wasn't reading those texts for a reason. So, I held up her phone, let it scan her shocked face, and went straight to her messages with Jake. My hands were shaking as I scrolled. No outright confessions, no "I love yous" or anything that would make this an open and shut case. But the inside jokes, the late-night messages, the way they talked, it wasn't innocent. It was too much, too familiar, and that's what drove me insane. If there was nothing going on, why did she say all that stuff at the cafe? Why act like Jake was some wild, passionate secret while I was just the guy who looked good in photos? I couldn't even look at her. I tossed her phone onto the couch and walked out, leaving her standing there, calling my name like I was the problem. But I wasn't just mad at her, I was pissed at Jake more than anything. I got in my car and drove straight to his place, ready to throw hands. The door opened, and there he was, and so was Lisa, his girlfriend. Jake looked genuinely confused, like I'd just shown up speaking a foreign language. "What the hell are you talking about?" he asked, like I was some lunatic off the street. Dude, she's just a client. You're imagining things. And then Lisa jumped in, backing him up. Jake would never do that to you, she said, shaking her head like this was all some huge misunderstanding. He literally always talks about how great you and Amy are together. They made me feel like a complete idiot, like I had just blown up my own relationship over nothing. I left Jake's place feeling worse than when I got there. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe it was just gym talk. Amy kept hammering that into my head, saying I was ruining everything over some dumb jokes. But I couldn't shake the feeling. The way she talked in that cafe, the defensiveness, her behavior changed, the texts that weren't outright bad but still felt off. Something wasn't right. I just didn't know what yet. It was either they were intentionally driving me crazy, or I was just overreacting. After being left confused as hell, things got really weird. Amy changed completely, started love-bombing me like crazy, suddenly wanted to spend every minute together, sending these long texts about our future, planning trips months ahead. But then she'd slip up. Like she'd get super nervous whenever Jake's name came up, or quickly change the subject if anyone mentioned the gym. She even stopped going to the gym and told me she'd block Jake everywhere if that would make me comfortable, saying she doesn't care about anyone but me. Jake was even worse with the manipulation, started inviting me to everything. Gym sessions, group hangouts, even wanted to plan a couple's vacation with me, Amy, and Lisa. Then this girl, Maria, from Amy's office messaged me, said she felt guilty keeping quiet. Apparently, Amy had been taking long lunch breaks that matched up exactly with Jake's training gaps. Maria sent screenshots of Amy's work calendar with all these blocked-off meetings that didn't exist. When I showed Amy the screenshots, she completely lost it, started crying, saying Maria was jealous of her success, that I was ruining everything by not trusting her. She even got her friends to message me, saying I was being controlling and abusive by investigating her. Jake played it perfectly too, acted all concerned about me, saying maybe I needed therapy for my trust issues. Lisa would tell me how Jake was worried about my paranoid behavior. They made me feel crazy for suspecting anything. The worst part, some of our friends started taking their side, said I was overreacting to some harmless gym flirting. One friend literally said, even if something did happen, maybe you should forgive them and move on. Like, what? I almost believed them, almost convinced myself I was imagining everything. But the final straw was when I decided to get access to the gym security footage through one of the other trainers, named Mike. I wanted to see if I was really being paranoid. The footage showed Amy going into Jake's private training room late at night when the gym was closed. She'd leave, like, 2 to 3 hours later looking messy. This happened multiple times a week. When I tried confronting her again, she said they were doing intense training sessions, and I was sexualizing innocent workouts. Jake backed her story completely, said lots of clients came in after hours for private training. Lisa even defended him, saying Jake was too professional to mess around with clients. They had everyone convinced I was losing it. Obviously, I thought that was complete BS. That day, I sat in my car for like 2 hours that night just thinking. I realized something. It didn't matter anymore if they were actually hooking up or not. The trust was completely gone. I was disgusted by Amy since I heard her trashing my name. I was turning into someone I didn't like, checking phones, watching security footage, doubting everything. I couldn't sleep, couldn't focus at work, jumped every time my phone buzzed. I made my decision right there. I texted Amy it was over, said I couldn't be with someone I didn't trust anymore, blocked her number before she could respond, blocked Jake too, didn't even bother telling him why. I told my doorman not to let either of them up to my apartment. So, 3 days after I broke up with Amy, I got this email from a blank account, just a link to a Google Drive folder. I almost deleted it thinking it was spam, but the subject line was proof about Jake and Amy. I clicked it because, at this point, what did I have to lose? Guys, this folder had everything, hundreds of screenshots of Jake's private messages with his gym buddies going back over a year, videos from the gym security cameras, even recordings of their conversations in his office. Turns out, Mike wasn't the only trainer who thought something was wrong. The messages showed the real story. Jake had been obsessed with Amy since the day I introduced them. He'd message his friends about how he had to have her, and how it was torture watching her with me. The guy was literally tracking her gym schedule, adjusting his training slots to match her workout times. The most insane part, Amy wasn't the one pursuing him like she bragged to her friends. Jake had been manipulating everything from the start. He'd tell her things like, he doesn't understand you like I do, and we have this special connection, classic predator stuff. There were messages of him bragging about how he was slowly turning Amy against me. He'd tell her these fake stories about me talking to other girls at work, then act all supportive when she got upset, would send screenshots of our texts to his friends, laughing about how he was stealing his best friend's girl. The security footage was even worse, shows Jake following Amy around the gym, always finding reasons to spot her workouts or check her form. He'd get super possessive if other trainers talked to her, even told the front desk to alert him whenever she checked in. But the thing is, Jake was playing both sides perfectly. He'd send me these long messages about being worried about Amy's inappropriate behavior at the gym, making it seem like she was the one causing problems. Meanwhile, he's telling his friends how fun it is watching me lose my mind trying to figure out what's happening. Lisa had no clue. Jake would literally leave their bed to message Amy at night, telling her how much he wanted her. He'd show his gym friends videos of Amy working out without her knowing, called her his future wife in their group chat while planning his proposal to Lisa. I found out Jake's done this before too. There were messages joking about how this was easier than last time because being my best friend gave him perfect cover. Apparently, he's pulled the same trick with his friends' girlfriends before, getting close as the supportive friend, then slowly manipulating them. Amy wasn't innocent in all this. The messages show she eventually started playing along, enjoying the attention and drama, but it's clear Jake was the mastermind. The anonymous email turned out to be from Jake's ex before Lisa. She said she tried warning other girls about him, but he always managed to spin it like she was crazy and jealous. She'd been gathering evidence for months after seeing him start the same pattern with Amy. I sent everything to Lisa. She deserved to know what kind of guy she was defending. Jake's whole perfect trainer image was a joke. He wasn't some hardworking, self-made guy. He was just using her dad's gym connections to build his client base while creeping on his clients' girlfriends. And the worst part? I trusted him. We weren't just gym buddies, I actually considered him a friend. I defended him when people called him cocky. I let him train Amy because I thought he was solid, someone who had my back. Turns out, he was smiling in my face while chasing after my girlfriend behind it. Looking at all the little red flags I ignored, I felt stupid. This wasn't just about Amy anymore. This was about realizing a guy I called a friend had been playing me the whole time. After sending everything to Lisa, I didn't hear anything for like 2 days. Then suddenly my phone exploded with notifications. Lisa had gone nuclear, posted all the evidence on their gym social media, every screenshot, every creepy message Jake sent about Amy, every gross comment he made about his female clients. Jake's perfect image crashed hard. All his female clients canceled immediately. Turns out he'd been secretly recording their workouts too, super illegal. Lisa's dad shut down Jake's trainer account the same day and banned him from all their gym locations. But the best part was Amy finding out the truth. Lisa sent her all the messages showing how Jake had played her, the ones where he called her easy to manipulate and laughed about how she actually believed. He'd leave Lisa for her. Screenshots of him telling his gym bros how he was collecting another friend's girl for his trophy wall. Amy completely lost it, like full meltdown mode, started showing up at Jake's apartment, screaming about how he promised they'd be together. Security had to remove her twice. She kept posting these long rants on Instagram about their true love, until Jake's lawyer told her to stop. Here's where it gets interesting. I started getting messages from Jake's old friends. Apparently, he'd pulled this exact same move with 3 other friends' girlfriends, would pretend to be the supportive best friend while slowly manipulating their girlfriends, then ghost everyone once he got caught. I found out he had this whole system. He'd target friends with attractive girlfriends who had something to prove, like Amy trying to fit into my finance world. He'd play the understanding friend, slowly convince them their boyfriend was holding them back, then use that insecurity to hook them. Lisa's handling things like a boss, filed reports about the illegal gym recordings, told all their mutual friends what he did, even warned his new gym about his history. She actually reached out to me last week, wanted to get coffee and compare notes about all his lies. Meeting Lisa for coffee was weird at first, but turned out really good. We talked for hours about all the red flags we missed, ended up going to dinner too. There's definitely something there, but we're both taking it super slow. We both need time to process all this crazy stuff. Amy's not doing great. She tried messaging me this long apology about being manipulated, but honestly, the screenshots show she was pretty into the whole thing. Once Jake got her hooked, she loved the drama and attention. Now she's stuck working at her parents' store because everyone at her old job knows what happened. Jake's life imploded completely. He lost his training license when the illegal recordings came out. His gym bros turned on him once Lisa exposed everything. He tried making a comeback at some small gym across town, but the owner's daughter saw Lisa's posts and got him fired. The craziest part, more girls are coming forward now. Jake's been doing this for years, always targeting his friends' girlfriends, always playing the same supportive friend role. He had this whole collection of videos and photos from past conquests saved on his computer, super creepy stuff. Last I heard, Jake's living with his brother in another state, still posts these fake motivational gym stories, but everyone knows the truth now. Amy keeps trying to contact him, but he blocked her everywhere. Guess she's not so special anymore now that everyone knows his game. Lisa and I have been hanging out more. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice having someone who really understands what it was like being fooled by Jake. We're both in therapy, dealing with all this. Turns out, getting betrayed by someone you totally trusted messes with your head pretty bad. And yeah, here I am right now. Final update. Hi guys, writing this from a beach in Hawaii. After everything that happened, I decided to use my saved engagement ring money for something better, a 2-week vacation. Lisa came with me. Yeah, that's going really well. We've been hiking, learning to surf, and just enjoying being away from all the drama back home. Quick updates on everyone else. First, Jake's apparently working at some protein shake shop in Nevada. His Instagram followers dropped from 50,000 to like 500 after everything came out. He still posts these sad motivational quotes, but nobody's buying his fake guru act anymore. Amy moved to her cousin's place in another state. She tried starting a fitness Instagram, but people kept commenting about the Jake situation until she had to make it private. Last I heard, she's finding herself through crystal healing or something. Lisa has been amazing through all this. We took things super slow at first, lots of long talks about trust and boundaries. She gets it, you know? We both got played by people we trusted completely, but instead of letting it make us bitter, we're helping each other heal. Funny story, we almost didn't book this trip. Both felt weird about taking a vacation together so soon. Then we saw Jake posted some BS about how true players never lose their game, and decided, screw it, let's make some happy memories instead of letting him affect us anymore. Lisa and I spent a lot of time laughing about red flags we missed, like how Jake used to get weirdly invested in his friends, relationships, always offering advice that usually led to breakups, or how he'd somehow always date girls whose dads own gyms or sports companies. Yesterday, we went snorkeling and saw these two fish swimming together. Lisa joked they probably had a better love story than Jake's fake romance stories. We've been healing through humor a lot. Turns out that works better than being angry. Yesterday, I had a message from Mike, the honest trainer from the old gym, saying Jake tried applying at his new workplace. Mike showed the owner all the evidence, and Jake got rejected immediately. Guess karma keeps doing its thing. Right now, I'm going to focus on building something good with Lisa, growing in my career, and maybe planning more beach vacations. Thinking Bali next time.